Hi everyone, it's Patricia from TarantulaHeaven.com. Today I have big news. I've definitely talked about this many times on the channel, but it is about the Butterfly Pavilion in Denver, Colorado. And very appropriate because this right here is my Chilean rosehair Spidey. She's eating right now, so hopefully she will show you how she eats and move around for you. I've definitely talked about the Butterfly Pavilion before because not only is it a really wonderful educational initiative, but it has a wonderful history of acclimating people to tarantulas and arachnids and other creepy crawlies that people are usually afraid of. And they have a wonderful tarantula handling program that educates people about tarantulas, and they use Chilean rosehairs to do that. But this is big news because they're actually going to discontinue their handling program. They said their rosehair tarantulas are retiring from public handling. They discontinued this in the beginning of September, and it's quite noteworthy because the public handling program and the Chilean rosehairs that have been a part of it has been like one of the most special parts of the Butterfly Pavilion and what it offers. There's an article that says like millions of guests since 1995 have overcome their fears of invertebrates because of this program. So all the rose hairs, and there wasn't just one, I mean, they named the handleable spider Rosie, but Rosie's actually played by several different Chilean rosehair tarantulas because the tarantulas need a break. They try to do this as ethically as possible so that not one spider is getting stressed out. And I think that they really do respect trying to make handling more ethical. I personally don't think handling is really ever ethical, but they try to, with this program, to do it as well as they can with as much respect to the tarantulas as they can. What'll happen now with these tarantulas is they're retiring, and instead of being handled, they are now just going to be on display to live out the rest of their lives. On their website, the Butterfly Pavilion says that the aging tarantula's needs have changed, makes sense, and current animal welfare science shows reducing handling for mature tarantulas supports the creature's well-being. And according to the article, there are probably about 120 tarantulas who have all played the role of being Rosie. So there are a lot of tarantulas that are now ready to retire and have done their duty to help spread knowledge and curiosity about tarantulas. Butterfly Pavilion, not only in this initiative, but they have always kind of tried to do this as best as they can. One of the people, Sarah Stevens, told the Denver Post that they do not allow a tarantula to be handled unless it's at least 10 years old. And they're kind of vetted because not every tarantula, particularly Chilean rosehairs, have the disposition to be handled by the public. Staff also found that the spiders were cycling out more frequently, and the adult tarantulas willing to be handled were expensive and hard to find. Stevens said, "What we were finding with our aging tarantulas is they were telling us more and more frequently that they didn't want to be handled. There just wasn't a way for us to continue the experience as is." I really like that they paid attention to the animal cues because she's right. These animals, while they cannot talk, they certainly have temperaments and body language cues that can say they are not happy. And I think it's so important that the tarantula's age developmental phase has always been considered in this project. The handling program has been around since 1995, and I'm sure it's going to be missed, but I'm happy that these rosehairs will continue to educate the public and still be a part of the Butterfly Pavilion. The Butterfly Pavilion said on their website, "In her 3 decades at Butterfly Pavilion, Rosie has changed hearts and minds. She's helped countless guests see spiders not as creatures to fear, but as vital members of our ecosystems. Her legacy will live on in the millions of smiles, stories, and I did it moments she's inspired." So in the months ahead, the Butterfly Pavilion does plan to introduce new experiences involving invertebrates that will allow close-up interactive learning while prioritizing animal well-being. So they're going to be launching a brand new exhibit in spring 2026. So it seems like they will definitely have more educational programs, but probably not any close-up handling in terms of that. I don't think that's what they mean when they say close-up. There was a photo and a video about this. I'm going to try to include it, but if I can't, I will link to it. And if you are curious or have even been a part of and experienced the Butterfly Pavilion's handling program and Rosie, you can use the hashtag on social media, hashtag #ThanksRosie, to see not only what other people are posting about her and those tarantulas that played her, but also post your own experience, which I think is really, really cool. I've always loved hearing about what the Butterfly Pavilion is doing. I think that the people that work there and the people in charge of their programs really do care about their animals and advocate so heavily for even the smallest of creatures that usually don't get the respect they deserve, like tarantulas. So anyway, let me know what you think about that. I will see you in 2 weeks for Tarantula Tuesday. Take care. Bye.